So this is how I'm gonna break the ice today, okay? You say, Larray, you say that you're gay, right? Hmm? You-
Yep.
Are you gay?
Yes.
Okay. We're gonna see how gay you really are, okay? If you say you're gay, all right, all right. I'm straight. My wife tells me I'm gay. So, what's your definition of an ally?
And I is somebody who, um, it's interesting because, I think we all run the gamut of different types of relationships that we have with certain people. And some people are friends, some people are acquaintances, and then there are some people who are allies. And allies call things out. Um, they usually, and I think people don't realize, that people who call things out, they're heroes, they're heroic.
Yeah.
Um, my mom is an ally. She'll If the pastor of her church says something that she doesn't agree with, she'll call him on the phone and personally say, I don't agree with what you said. And that's an ally. That's what we all should be allies. We all should be doing that. Not everybody has the courage, and I don't judge anybody, for that. There's some, and then there's some people I'm friends with but I don't agree. Even, and they're friends with me because they like me or my personality or whatever they're getting from me. But I wouldn't call them an ally. I still love them and they still love me. But, you know, I think, put that extra step towards calling things out. Some people aren't ready to step up to the plate and do that. So.
Okay, great. So it sounds like an ally is someone who takes a little bit of action to call out things that are disrespectful. But and there's this kind of tone of mutual respect with a little bit of action. So yeah, that
Hmm.
sounds good. All right, all right. You get 2 points. You get two
2
points.
points.
No, no, that was a great answer. Okay, what's asexual for you?
That's someone who they don't have romantic they don't have romantic or sexual desires
Mhm.
towards anyone. So they just don't need it or have it or want it or feel it or desire it, whatever it is. It's just not something they're just not built for romance and
Is there a difference between asexual and aromantic?
huh. Uh yes, there's definitely a difference. I think lots of people are aromantic. Um
But it seems like it's kind of in the same kind of granular category between I think it sounds like, if I'm not mistaken, it's kind of like both. If you're asexual, you're not going to want to be romantic with anyone because it doesn't
yeah.
do anything for you, right?
Yes.
There's no desire, there's no passion in either genders and either sex. So,
I hope I'm getting these right.
this is sensitivity training for a gay man and a straight
Yes.
man. Okay, this is good for everyone. What's gender binary? Do you know what that is?
Gender binary. Um, so I'm guessing it's probably the opposite of non-binary. So, non-binary people, they don't relate to being female or male. So I'm thinking gender binary is probably what we are. Like, I guess since I definitely identify as a man, so I must be gender binary. Uh, did I
Okay.
get that right? I don't know. Or should I just say I
Um,
don't know if I don't know? I don't know.
Gender binary, we're reading this together, and at the risk of sounding like a classroom, the gender binary is a strict classification of people into two opposing categories, man or
Hmm.
woman. Under
Okay.
this system, individuals are often expected to conform to traditional, cultural, or societal expectations of what constitutes femininity or masculinity, such as subservience in women and leadership in men. Many people consider the gender binary to be both perspective and restrictive in terms of enabling people to whom they want to be. It sounds like just another euphemism for being straight or completely gay. I don't know.
What?
Like it's
Yeah,
like
I
it's
think straight and gay is sexuality, and I think binary, being gender binary has to do with gender. So it's like, being a cisgender male or cisgender female.
correct.
We are. It's just a way of saying, you know, um, I'm going to be gender binary, right? I don't know. It's if you're either non-binary or you're gender binary. I think I don't know. I'm guessing. That's what I'm.
I'm gonna give both of us 10 points for that one because that one is confusing me. Whoever wrote this doesn't even know what gender binary means, probably. We deserve 10 points for that. Okay.
I
What's
agree.
gender dysphoria to you? What do you think that is?
Ooh. Um, I'm just gonna guess.
Okay.
I don't really know, and I should say if
Okay.
I don't know something.
Sure.
So I don't know, but I would like to guess that it's probably S I it's probably someone who isn't quite maybe has a moment where they're not sure. I guess some people can be not sure their whole lives,
Yes.
or some people can be not sure for a moment and they need a little time and then they, come to some sort of resolution about, how they want to be seen or perceived. Um,
We're going to clear this up together. Gender dysphoria is the distress a person feels when the sex they were assigned at birth does not correlate with their gender
Mhm.
identity. When gender dysphoria is particularly acute, it can severely impact a person's life and result in depression, anxiety, or trauma. So this to me, this is my layman's interpretation of that. Gender dysphoria, I think, starts like in early adolescence, right? Like when someone is like 6 or when they like maybe not 6 years old, but like when they're reaching close to puberty and these sexual desires are getting a little bit more clearer and confusing. Like that's whatever age or state of mind that they're in when they interact with the opposite sex. Like it's like if a biological male who's going under like maybe puberty doesn't feel sexual attraction to the opposite sex, which is a female, then that is categorized as gender dysphoria. And oppositely, when a female is going through puberty or when, whatever that is for the female, she doesn't feel like she doesn't feel these passions and these desires for the opposite sex. Does that sound right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
it's
that's where yeah. We'll let the internet decide when we'll let the people that can
I,
comment
I
decide
I
on
think
this.
the nature of it that this like it's one of those things where we're not supposed to pin it down. Like that's
Right.
the whole point of the it's like it's not it's a little bit yeah, so I think we get a few points for that because I don't think you're supposed to be able to someone who has gender dysmorphia. Am I saying that right? Is it
Gender dysphoria.
dysphoria?
Dysphoria.
Yeah, gender dysphoria. They're not ready for the label. They're not ready to be,
Yeah,
you
they
know,
don't even know what's happening to them yet. They know
yeah.
that these things are, it's, it sounds like it's kind of like whether they experience it or whether they're ready. I mean, a human being who's going to undergoing puberty doesn't even know what's happening to them. They don't
Mm,
know what the term puberty means, right?
mm,
So whatever phase of a human being's life where they know that they're feeling, like they're not feeling, like attraction to the opposite sex, then there, I think that that's kind of the fine line of gender dysphoria.
mm.
That's how I interpreted it. And let's let the internet decide.
Yeah. It
What?
sounds like someone who's not certain they're in the right gender. They're not
Yes.
sure they were born into the gender that they feel like they
Yeah.
identify with or are comfortable with.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. If there were, yeah, I think that's exactly right. What about gender fluid?
That's usually, I get that's someone who they can present as, female or male, man or woman, depending on the day, depending on how they want to express themselves at a particular moment. Some people are just more comfortable with that or want to express themselves in all of those different ways. And then some people don't. And so I think someone who's gender fluid is someone who's completely comfortable and has a strong desire to express themselves as either male or female. Yeah.
Yes. Gender fluid to me, I mean, just to cut to the chase, I think gender fluid is someone who is attracted to both sex, without, labeling everybody across the board. It seems like gender fluid flows more in the bisexual kind of category. They're attracted to both, there's attraction to both genders.
I think I just want to like put a finer like point on it,
Sure.
but I think it's less about attraction. I think, you could be a straight male and still be gender fluid. You could be someone who's like a man who's completely attracted to women and but you can express yourself in ways that are not culturally defined as being masculine or feminine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where I think, me personally, where I draw the line of being gender fluid, like for me personally, the way I kind of understand the term is that, like, I'm a straight guy. If we want to be clinical about it, like I'm aroused with the opposite sex, right? Like there's arousal for me. I was born male, no transition, no anything like that. And I'm attracted to females and women, right? So when I can myself, find, I'm not conservative enough. I mean, I'm not conservative in the sense that I'm afraid of saying, "Hey, that's a handsome guy over there," or if Brad Pitt is handsome, or if Leonardo DiCaprio is handsome. I know that, there, when I can I can appreciate it. I can appreciate the beauty in, a handsome man and stuff like that. But when there's no attraction, there's no arousal in me with with the same sex, So that's how I interpreted that. But hey,
But I think you even that could be true about you, but I think that if you wanted to wear a skirt tomorrow just because
sure.
and some eyeliner, then that would make you, aside from what you're attracted to, I'm doing an
No,
over,
no, that's
it's oversimplification of what it really,
yes. Yes,
but
yes, yes.
that would make you someone who is it's not about like who you're attracted to, it's about how you and again, I'm guessing I could be completely wrong.
these are hard terms. See,
They are. You're giving me very.
if a so-called gay man named Larray says he's gay and he doesn't even know it, so these are terms that everyone is confused by. I don't think anyone is gonna, we're gonna debate about these terms forever. Do you know what intersex is?
I think that's someone who's born with both male and female genitalia.
It can be someone who like maybe has both X and Y chromosomes if you want to be granular about the science, and it can be someone who was born with both organs. Like, I think there's this 1% of 1% of people that were born with both female and male genitalia, or they have chromosomes that they could be they could be a male or they could be a female, but their chromosomes, if you want to draw their blood or something, uh it's like, at the risk of sounding offensive, it's like, like there are these crazy characters in the circus, right? That have beards and stuff like that. They were born with male genitalia, but they have, they look, their facial expressions looks more androgynous and female-like. And there are these females that were born female with with female body parts, but they have like, they have beards and stuff like that. So something is going on with them internally, with their bodies, and just with their chromosomes. So something is uh something's not quite clear in terms of their blood and their chromosome makeup. What's a
It's
lesbian?
it sounds like what you're saying is it can be, physical or hormonal. Like you can, it could be, as simple as like, having too much estrogen so that or too much, or a female who has a lot of, has some sort of hormonal imbalance and there's a lot of maybe testosterone or something and it causes them to, uh, I don't know. I'm no doctor. I'm just what I'm trying to say is that what I'm interpreting how you put it, because I
Mhm.
thought of it as just like, physical, but it sounds like you're saying it's more than just um, the organs themselves. There can be a lot of factors that can make someone intersex besides just having male and female organs or female.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
I
So
got there. I
I
got
think
there.
we I think we got it. We're dialing in on what intersex is, and we'll clear it up in the next 20 years.
Yeah.
What's a lesbian?
That's a cisgender woman who is attracted to only other cisgender women.
Let I think that's perfect. There's no
Nailed
I
it.
don't think there's really a debate about that, but let's let the internet and the let's let lesbians decide who they are, right?
I agree.
Non-binary. What do you think that means?
I would say that's someone who identifies as neither male or female.
Yeah, it's a recognized gender identity used by people who do not identify as a man or a woman. They may consider themselves to be both male and
Hmm.
female, somewhere in the middle or outside the binary entirely. Other terms under the non-binary umbrella include gender queer, gender fluid, and agender. So Sam Smith and Demi Lovato are both non-binary.
Well, with the topic, the part of the conservative part of it, I just kind of like want to take in a little
Sure,
piece.
let's go. Talk
But
about
like, but I think I think some people, if I think the well-intentioned conservatives are trying to say, I may not get this right. Please don't. jump on me or cancel me because I accidentally call you the wrong pronoun
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
can't wrap my brain around your experience.
Hmm.
What's good about what you and I are doing right now is that, we both have our own life experiences where we haven't had to think about all of this. Like I
Absolutely.
haven't really had to it just hasn't been part of my and so we have to be, but we have to realize that the world, the universe is vast and people have a lot of different kinds of experiences. And God has made people in lots of different ways. No two people are alike. And so we have to be um empathetic, with each other, in order to live in a harmonic society. But so yeah, but I think, the well-intentioned ones are like, I will do my best. I can't wrap my brain around this, but do you, But then I think that it's very you can either be, you can feel like you're both, or you can feel like you're neither. So
Okay. What do you think? What's pansexual and pan?
I think it's someone who has the ability, to be attracted to anyone, whether they be male, female, non-binary, trans, um,
If I'm interpreting the definition clearly, pansexual is can be an interchangeable word for um, bisexual or something like that.
you got a lot more to choose from.
So queer, what does that mean to you?
That's a tough one. I've never really understood that one. Because I think it's just something that I think it's become people's way of saying, um, on any given day, I'm going to um I'm going to be a cisgender man and wear a dress and ugh, I know I'm oversimplifying all of this. I hope people don't come for me.
No
But
one's
like, but they're what and they're saying I instead of like labeling me as being non-binary or being gay, I'm just queer. I can just, or maybe like gender fluid. They're like, just because I'm wearing a dress doesn't mean I feel like a woman. I just think this dress looks good, and so I'm wearing it today. And so there, I would say that person would, would say that if they had to put they don't really want a label, but if you got to give them a label, they would say queer rather than, than being, put into the box of being non-binary or, um, trans or anything like that. They're sort of like, I'm wearing a dress because it looks good.
a, I think a gay man can consider themselves queer and a lesbian can consider themselves queer. So it just depends on the math of it or the biology of what you were born with. I think that's clear. Is trans.
Trans is someone who has transitioned from one gender to the other.
We got 20 out of 10 on that one. We get extra credit for that because I think that's exactly what it is. Um, this is a tough one. Transsexual. I don't know if it's a tough one for you, but like, what do you think is trans and transsexual the same thing? Because I asked Montana this, and I think if I remember our conversation correctly, transsexual like maybe like this is a totally outdated term, and I'm giving away my age by, using this term, but transsexual, transvestites, stuff like that. Is that what do you think transsexual is?
I think transvestite is someone who uh, uh, it's not even I think there was I think people use that term to refer to a man who likes to dress up as a woman, but they're not a drag queen. They're not putting on a performance. I think drag queens are dressing up for performance, for costume. Whereas a transvestite, is doing it just like today, I would like to dress like a woman, and that's that. And that doesn't mean that they think they are a woman. They just want to look like one for the day. And then transsexual would be, I don't know if I know the difference between I know that, transgender and transsexual. Like if I break the words into pieces and think about the difference between gender and sexuality, it makes me even more confused. So,
Right.
but, um, I'm not sure I understand. I will be honest and say I have no idea what the difference is between transgender and transsexual. I don't know. Maybe it's an old term for transgender and we just use, and the preferred term now is transgender or something
You
like that.
you and I both really defined it correctly. It's just an outdated term that means homosexual or transsexual. What you said about, like, it's
Hmm.
like, it's a term that was used in the 90s for like people like RuPaul and drag queens and things like that. So right now, sitting here in 20, and as a human being in 2025, transvestites, transsexuals, it's become just like a derogatory term for
Hmm.
someone who dresses up in drag. Transitioning, we already know. So the test is done, and I know it took a straight man to evaluate you today, but Um, I think you passed with flying colors, Larray. I think even though it took a straight man to figure this out, I think you're gay. I think,
Hmm.
I think you're absolutely gay. What do you have to say for yourself?
Well, it's just what the world needs, more straight men telling us what we are. I love that. Uh, yeah, I'm glad.
I
Good.
don't
I'm
want
glad.
to burst your bubble, but if it takes a straight man to identify a gay man to be gay, we're way behind, man. Like this movement has just reached a screeching halt. I think that's a good note to end on. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Welcome to Straight Up Gay Talk. If you like, comment, and subscribe. My pet giraffe, who has pancreatic cancer and has had one stroke and two heart attacks, will survive.
So long, gay boys!